Hi children, today I want to discuss about the lesson that is tissues in biology. So you know the tissue, the word tissue refers to the structural and functional unit of a cell. So if they are asking the question what is tissue, you have to say the answer that it is a structural and functional unit of an organism, that is an living organism. You know the cell is made up of it may be a single cellular organism or it may be multicellular organism. Single cellular organism, amoeba. So the cell, the organism which is made up of only one cell, that is called as single cellular or unicellular. So otherwise the other hand, that is the multicellular organism. So the cells, the organisms which are made up of more than two cells. Okay. Example, human beings, plants, etc. So the group, that is the structural and functional unit of an organism, is called as tissue. The study of tissue is called as histology. So you know that the study of cell is called as cytology. Like that, the study of tissues is called as histology. So today's lesson we are discussing about the types of tissues. Okay. So there are noticeable differences between the plants and animals. So plants are stationary. It will be fixed at it will be fixed in the soil. Other animals, they move from one place to another place. So the plants do not move, but it will grow. Is it right? So it may be grown towards the sunlight, and it grown upwards means the roots grown upwards and the stem grown down. Upwards. The roots grown downwards means towards the soil. So like that the animals do not, so they will move from one place to another place. Why the animals are move from one place to another place? Because to search some food and mates and also they get the shelter. See, another differences between the plants and animals are the pattern of growth. You know the growth of the plants and animals. Usually the plants will grow to tree. So it may be the stem, it will be the width of the stem and height of the tree also depend upon the growth of the plant. Other time the animals will grow. For example, from when we take human being as an example, so the child will grow an adult and then it will reaches to older age. So like that other animals also will grow. For example, ear. When we take ear, it will be hatches. So the young one, it will be grown and then it will be grown as an adult. That is, for example, when we take hen. Okay. So it will be grown into hen. Like that, both the plants and animals will grow. So the main differences of plants and animals, the first one is it moves from one place to another place. The plants will not move from one place to another place, but it will move some movements. You know the movements. What are some movements? So the plants will move towards the sunlight. That is an example for stimulus. That is a sunflower. It will move towards the sun. And also some plants, when we keep in the cardboard sheet, make one more. It grown towards the sunlight. So it will, and otherwise the creepers, they will move towards the sunlight. In this case, the plants will move. When we take roots also move. It will be search the water source. And the plants, they did not move. It will be firmly fixed in the soil. Whereas the animals move from one place to another place in search of food and also get shelter. And the second one, the difference of plant and animals is growth. So when we compare the banyan tree, the growth of the crop is about 400 kilometers. Okay, so like that there will be growing of the root, that is the crop root. Okay, the structural organization of organism and organ system are far specialized in the localized complex animals. The fundamental differences reflects the different modes of life The study of tissue is called as histology. Study of histology, Histology. Here, we are discussing about first the plant tissues. Plant tissue. In that one, first is meristematic tissue. MERISTEMATIC, meristematic tissue. Okay. Here, one activity is there. Open page number 69, 6.21. So here is an activity you have to do in your own. Growth of root in an onion bulbs. You know onion? So take onion bulbs. Take 2 glass jars and fill with them water. So take 2 jars, fill with water. So fill with water. Now take 2 onion bulbs and place 1 on each jar. So take the onion bulb. So both the onion bulbs are keep on the jar. So both the jar. Okay. And then observe the growth of roots in both the bulbs for a few days. So this jar is filled with water. Here you have keep the 2 onion bulbs on the jar. So observe for maybe 1 week or it may be 15 days. You observe the growthness in the roots. Is it right? So that is the growthness in the onion bulb. That is the root will grow in the water. Some of the plants also grow like this. For example, when we take hibiscus stem or rose stem, keep in the water, or it may be avocado seed, you know. So seed like that, potato seed, when we keep these type of vegetables in the water, it will be grown as in the form of roots. And then when that vegetable part is sown in the soil, you get a healthy plant. So like that, here the bulb grows the roots in the water. See, measure the length of the root 1 day, 2nd day, 3rd day. Like that, it will be grown, it takes nearly 1 week. After that, you have to measure this root. So, you have to write the days. After 1 week, you have to write the days. 1, 2, 3 like that. You have to measure this root using the scale. On the 4th day, cut the root tips and onion bulb of the onion bulb. And after this, observe the progress of tissues, that is the root tissues, in both the jars and measure their lengths each day. For 5th day, record the observation in the table like the. So here we are given the table. You have to do that one. So one jar bulb, you have to cut that root and measure after that days. 4th and 5th day similar. Okay. So when you observe that the roots are grown, so it may be longer when compared to both the jars. Here we clearly observe that the roots are grown in the water. So day by day the roots are grown not only in the onion bulb, even in all the plants. Okay. The growth of plants occur only in a certain specific regions. This is because of dividing tissues. See, the growth is tissue. Growth, tissue. It is only applicable in the particular parts of the plant only, not for all the plants. Because all the plants are dependent upon the other tissues. Here, the growth is tissue only. That is called as meristematic tissue. So, depending on the region where they are present, meristematic tissue are classified as apical, lateral and intercalary. Here, this is a diagram of location of meristematic tissue in the plant body. See children, this is a meristematic tissue. Observe this diagram. So, in this diagram we observe the apical meristem, intercalary meristem and then lateral meristem. is called as meristem, meristematic tissue. At the top of the plant, we observe the apical meristem. At the middle, there is a big intercalary meristem, and then here, see, that is called as lateral meristem. There are three types of meristems are there: apical meristems, intercalary meristems, and then lateral meristems. Apical meristems is present in the growing of tip of the stem and roots. Apical is present in both the tip of the plant and also it present in the roots. The width of the stem or root increases due to the lateral meristem. That is the width or width of the stem. It is due to intercalary. It is due to, that is width of that root stem growing toward because of the lateral meristem. And then in the other hands, the nodes you observe when we take a plant, we observe leaves and nodes. So that is due to the intercalary meristem. So like that, the meristematic tissue is only for the growthness of the tissue. Here, apical meristem helps in the growthness of the tip of the stem and also the roots. Whereas the lateral meristem, it will be it helps to width or width of that's the lateral meristem, and the nodes tissue is called as intercalary meristem. These are three types of tissues present in the plant. Next, let us discuss about second one, permanent tissue. Permanent tissue. See, the permanent tissue, it is taking a permanent shape. It has a specific permanent shape, size, and a function is called as differentiation. Cells of meristematic tissue differentiate to form different types of permanent tissues. Here we have to take some slices of vegetable, thin slices of the stem, the plant stem. We have to take thin slices. So mainly the permanent tissues is depend upon the permanent tissue, permanent shape, size and function. Size and function of the plant part. Okay. So cover slip and observe under a microscope. So when we take a plant stem, thin plant slice, okay, stem of the thin slices, we have to take, or sections we have to take in a watch glass and stain with the slice using a stain called saffron, or it may be some coloring stains we have to put for that slice and apply the glycerin, put a drop of glycerin, cover the watch glass cover slip and observe under a microscope. Observe the various types of cells and their arrangements. See, the arrangements are the similar. You have to observe this in the section of the stem. So it is different parts of the stem. You have to observe here. So I will write about some of the parts. So we observe and we take a cross section of the stem. The upper part, a few layers form the basic packing tissues, that is called as parenchyma. The basic packing of the cross section of the stem contains parenchyma. This is the basic packing. This type belongs to this permanent tissue. It is the first type of permanent tissue. What is the name? Parenchyma, parenchyma. So the large spaces between the cells form the tissues. The tissues provide the support to plants and also store food. In this, during the photosynthesis, using of chlorophyll, the plants prepare their own food. In that process, so there is I write chlorenchyma, CHLOREN, chlorenchyma. using chlorophyll. Chlorophyll. So in that situation, the plants, that type of community tissue is called as chlorenchyma. The parenchyma is the basic packing of the tissues. So this tissue is called as parenchyma, and the chlorophyll contains plants, that is called as chlorenchyma. And a large name in between the parenchyma, that is called as erenchyma. The third one, ARENCHY. So there is a large gap in between the stem of the parenchyma. So when we observe the aquatic plants, it floats on the water easily. Is it right? When we put the stem of the hibiscus, what happens? It will be floats or sinks. Some hard stem, it will be sinks in the water. It does not floats. When compared to the lotus, it is an aquatic plant, lily. It floats on the leaves, the stem, or floats on the water because the air gap in between the tissues are present. Air gap is present in the tissues. That type of tissue is called as erenchyma. Erenchyma. So usually, due to the erenchyma, the aquatic plants, they will get nutrients. So another one, the main one is called as, that is parenchyma. So these are the types of this parenchyma. Let us discuss about second one, parenchyma. Okay. So then it is also one of the type of this permanent tissue. The first permanent tissue is parenchyma. In that one there are two types, chlorenchyma and erenchyma. The second one is parenchyma. Okay, parenchyma means what? It is dependent on the easily bending in the various parts of the plant. For example, leaf. When we take leaf, so without breaking, so it bends usually easily. So mechanical support up to the plant. Tissue stops between the epidermis. You know the upper part of the skin of the plant is called as epidermis. Usually, human beings also having, the animals having also epidermis. The skin layer, the first layer of the skin is called as epidermis. So like the parenchyma helps in bending of the leaves. So it contains the stalks below the epidermis. The cells of these tissues are living elongated, irregularly thickened at the corners. There is a very little intercellular space in the parenchyma. In the page number 71, we have some diagrams. So intercellular spaces. So when we take a cell, for example, when we take onion peel in the slice. So I think you are already learning the previous classes. I will show the structure and function of the cell. So through the microscope, you see that the cell, cytoplasm and nucleus in the last year practicals, I think. So you observe the structure of the cell. So when we take the stem, a slice of the stem, so you have some structures. So you have the cytoplasm, nucleus, middle lamina, like that. You have to see under a microscope. Write these diagrams in your notebook twice. You have to practice the structures of the diagrams. The last one is sclerenchyma. See, it is a hard tissue. This type of tissue is usually represented as stone tissue, hard tissue, like that. Okay. So this tissue makes the plants hard and stiff. So when we see the husk of a coconut, husk of a coconut, that is a fiber husk. ತೆಂಗಿನಕಾಯಿ ನೋಡ್ತಿಲ್ವಾ, ತೆಂಗಿನ ಚಿಪ್ಪು ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ತಿಲ್ವಾ, ತೆಂಗಿನ ಚಿಪ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಗಟ್ಟಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ತೆಂಗಿನ ಚಿಪ್ಪು ಹಸ್ಕ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, that is made up of sclerenchyma. Usually it gives hard and stiffness in the plant. What are the, so when you take other parts also, so it gives hard and stiff to the part that is called as sclerenchyma. Sclerenchyma is it is a hard tissue. Okay, it is made So fibers are also fibers husk of the plants are due to the tissue which is called as sclerenchyma. Often these walls are so thick that there is no interspace in between the tissues. So when we observe in the sclerenchyma, there is an air gap in between the tissues. Here there is no air gap in the or intercellular structure in this sclerenchyma. And then this tissue is present in the stem around vascular bundles, in the veins of leaves and in the hard covering of the seeds and nuts. So if you take almond seed, so it is covered with a thick shell, is it right? So that shell is made up of sclerenchyma. Fruits and seeds, the thick seeds also made up of this sclerenchyma. Sclerenchyma is a dead tissue. It is hard and it gives the stiffness to the plant. So here are the three types of tissues. So once again I will explain. In the first one, meristematic tissue. In the meristem, it is another name of meristematic tissue is growth tissue. Growth tissue. Usually the growth tissue is present in the plant. It is the tip of the plant, that is apical meristem. Apical meristem. And then the width and width of the plant is due to lateral meristem. In the leaves we observe, the plant we observe that nodes and leaves is due to intercalary meristem. Clear? Next tissue name is called as permanent tissue. Permanent tissue gives the permanent shape size. Clearly observe that, listen carefully. Permanent tissue gives the permanent shape, size and function of the plant. Here are three types of tissues in the palm. There are three types of permanent tissues. First one is parenchyma, second one is collenchyma, third one is sclerenchyma. Sclerenchyma, it is also known as scleroids. Scleroids is nothing but hard. Okay. So in the parenchyma we observe the chlorenchyma and erenchyma. Chlorenchyma is nothing but during the photosynthesis the plants usually they will prepare their own food. In that one they use chlorophyll. So during that process they will using chlorophyll, that type of tissue. Which tissue is using the chlorophyll? That type of tissue is called as chlorenchyma, means the coloring pigment. Erenchyma means there is an area in between them. There is a space of air. So that is called as erenchyma. Usually in the aquatic plants, erenchyma is present. So why? Because the erenchyma present means usually the aquatic plants will float on the water easily. Collenchyma is helps to bending of the stem, leaves, etc. The sclerenchyma is hard and it gives stiff to the plant body. So it is also known as scleroids. Okay. For example, when we take coconut and the seed covering, and also when we observe the dry fruit. So the shell of the dry fruits. Okay. Next class we will discuss about the complex tissues, and then we will